Welcome back to the North American Apprentice Team League Week 2 with all the action last week, but we still have many weeks of the regular season to go. This time, we'll be looking at the other side of Team Exxon versus Genesis Gaming in a best of 5. Well, not really a best of 5. We're going to have 5 matches because each match matters in wins and losses and points and pride. With that said, Jimmy! Oh, come on, you really? Okay. Do it live. And then we'll introduce our exciting players very soon. First, for Genesis Gaming, leading off the match, the Zerg player in the red, it is Mick Monroe. And his challenger, in the bottom right, from Team Exxon's Nina division. Team Exxon has so many amazing North American players. They split them up into 2 teams, each led by one of their star North American players. Exxon Cham, the Mexican Zerg, and Nina, the American Protoss. So, for Nina's team, we have Ryan, which is, I will admit, one of the most boring names in not just North America, but the history of Starcraft. His actual name is Julius. No, I made that up. It's probably Ryan. I don't know why it wouldn't be right. It'd be kind of weird to put your name as Ryan and your name's like Michael or something. But anyways, we'll see what Ryan comes up with. I would say Mick Monroe is a slight favorite. Both these players Grandmaster. Last I checked. Hopefully I don't check too often for some of them. And PvZ right now is... everyone has their own take on it, and most of them aren't happy about it. Let's put it that way. Protoss players, it is a bit of a balancing act between any sort of early aggression and just turtling the void race. Whereas Zerg players are pretty hard split on whether or not to try to punish a Protoss for doing something like turtling the void race. You got your queen push builds, all that. Or just sit back and kind of take it for a while, which maybe not the best phrasing, but is accurate because just surviving as a Zerg against Adepts or Stargate, or in this case, none of the above, which is the most rare thing to see first, a robotics facility, and then eventually getting a good enough economy and enough tech, and surprise, now we're maxed out with a bunch of upgraded lurkers, and good luck with that. So, a robotics facility. I don't know. What are we gonna... are we doing the Ghetto Stargate build? Which is when you build a warp prism, slap a couple stalkers in it, and pretend to be a phoenix? Mick Monroe, Overlord. There is no pervert pillar for the Overlord to hide at. Gonna see no extra gases, but the Overlord just kind of dies. Which, it's not even... if Ryan wants to take 2 extra gases, it still isn't even that late for it. If at all. A robotics bay. Okay, so we're leading all the way in here. Yeah, Overlord gets into the main. Unfortunately, when you do the Ghetto Stargate build, you can't actually chase down Ovies. No Overlord speed. The Robo is spotted, but... what is this? And the Robo would have been spotted with the Warp Prism coming out with Stalkers in it. Now this is a little awkward. Zergling speed finishes. The Stalker's gonna... you gotta be a little careful. 2 Stalkers in a Warp Prism. I know this is cover for a robotics bay. We will see. If Mick Monroe freaks out... oh, here we go. Yeah, right there. It's right there. Oh, no. We're gonna go for kills. Oh, wait, those are Adepts. Okay. Doing some a very dangerous and exotic scouting mission there. Meanwhile, Brenda! Where's the crate? Why are you guys all the way over here? Warp prism speed and a disruptor. The Adept's gonna look for an angle. Find a couple drone kills. Overall, this has been intensely underwhelming. Hopefully the disruptor can make up for it. These are a lot of... It feels like you can't just do this out of nowhere. Just throwing in these crazy Adept plays and then... Yeah, alley-oops the Adepts back up into the Prism, which is the most complicated way to retreat with Adepts. I gotta give Ryan credit for that. And then now we have a very unique timing. We got a Colossus on the way. We got a bunch of gates, a couple Ruptors, a little bit of everything, even a quadruple stack of pylons. As we all know, as Protoss, it's important to maximize that pylon efficiency and necessary infrastructure safety rating, the Pen is rating. And Ryan just slacking a little bit on that. So now we're exchanging a couple of Adepts for a couple Ruptors. Mick Monroe has 67 drones, so if Ryan doesn't get going... Okay, Disruptor thrown out. Gets 3 drones. Another shot. Oh, that one looking pretty good. 9 okay. Alright, progress.
Is that all?
Meanwhile, this all setting up for the attack coming across. Mick Monroe making drones here, not expecting another attack. He probably should have had vision of the third. The question is, what part of this army is actually supposed to kill stuff? There's sentries, there's stalkers, there's even a Colossus showing up. The Queen standing tall. There's still the Ruptors in the mix. It's going to come down to the force fields and the Disruptor shots. No Ravagers so far. Disruptor goes in, looking for drones, finding some. Mick Monroe, big shot, center mass. Suddenly the Roaches feeling a little weak here. The Queen's holding the line. They got a lot of work to do. More Stalkers warping in. Ryan, with his ragtag band of Protoss, looking a little more dominant than it was before. The drones are off the line. The Mutas going for the Prism will cut off the reinforcements. Another Ruptor shot. Fogs the Roaches. And Ryan putting it all together. Setting them up and then knocking them down. I can't be one to criticize anymore. The just kind of throw stuff at him strat. He kind of faked him. He faked me out. Okay, more importantly than Mick Monroe, he faked me out with the I'm gonna say it, objectively mediocre Adept harass. Mick Monroe feeling calm, feeling like, okay, yeah, of course, like that's nothing. And then suddenly, boom, here comes a little bit of everything to ruin your day. Meanwhile, though, the Mutt-Mutts, there's just not enough. Like, you can't eat that many hits early on. 2 Mutt-Mutts survive. And eventually the Stalkers will be warped in and be very angry about it. Ryan, now, though, he has a worker lead. He doesn't need a third base in this scenario. It's going to be... There's just not enough units. If the Warp Prism dies with the Ruptors in it while warping in a full round of units, then Mick Monroe has a shot. Otherwise, this has reached a pretty concise conclusion. Disruptor fires a shot, aims for the Zealots, direct hit. Always hits his target. He knows what those Zealots did. Ryan takes it. A bit of a meandering path to the attack, but an effective one. And Mick Monroe, no matter how many thousands of actions per minute, I fear for his wrists, his keyboard, and his therapist. But Ryan able to find the timing. It's original. Oh, Sugar gonna be salty after this one. They're supposed to tell their players at the same time, I would suggest having them whisper you, Sugar. So that way we avoid the situation of one team saying their player and the other team just not. I don't like. I don't know. Because like it's like they're supposed to. You're maybe put the names in a hat, and then you pull them out of a hat. I can physically pretend to do that if you'd like. Like on a. It's like, oh look, we have Peely Peely. Jeez. No, don't make me. No. I do talk. I do the talking. I'm not making the lobbies. All right. Like I am a North American player. I can't multitask like that. Just whisper someone. It's not that hard. No, so here's what happened. Here's what happens. Is after each match, you don't know, part of the drama is after each match, the players can pick from their roster. The other team doesn't know what player, because, like, Nina might want to be picked against, say, Peely Peely, who is probably one of the strongest players on Genesis. So if Genesis comes in like, we got Peely, and then Nina's like, the idea is you pick the players and then they don't know who they're facing, so you can't snipe as easily. Making it slightly more fair. Maybe some teams have a more stacked deck, and other teams have a more well-rounded set of players. And I've lost track of what I was trying to say, but the summary is just have them whisper you, Sugar. Oh my god. For those who don't know, I'm not just saying it's my pet name, all right? But Sugar is the captain / owner of team. Let me look at his Twitter bio. That usually is how you define someone, right? The manager of Team Alpha X. There you go. So, who's helping administrate? And by helping, I mean continue doing all of it. Please. He's the daddy of Alpha X. I'm not gonna say that ever again, but let's just have that, let it be known, and let's move on. That not my words, other people's words. I'm just saying them. It's different. The sugar daddy, yes. That would be the one. So, yes. With that said, the next match coming up. Will be Peely Peely versus Skylar. You may recognize Skylar from Grandmaster Battle Royale as well. And then Peely Peely from his defeat of dominant professional player Winter in Micro Wars. And also just from being in tournaments and being pretty good at the game. But most importantly, that first thing.
Oh, good. Now I have your attention.
Thank you, Captain Jean-Luc Discard, for this, E... What is E? Oh, LE. Why does it look dip? Anyways, moving on. Protoss versus Taran. Are we gonna have a consistent... Okay, close enough. Currently 1-0 for Exxon Nina. And it does matter whether it's Exxon Nina or Exxon Cham. Because if it comes down to it, it's only the members of that division that are going to get the prize, which you can conveniently, even if you're watching this on YouTube, add to with the description below. Or if you're on Twitch, how convenient, the NA, North American Team League, NATL command. With a free code, NATL, for free money. All you have to do is log in with your Twitch account. And Winter, you might say in chat, I don't have a Twitch account, to which I say, that's fair. But, with all that said, in the bottom left for Exxon Nina, it's Skylar. In the Taran pieces, the light blue. And for Genesis Gaming, a formidable opponent, Peely Peely. I would once again give the Genesis Gaming player the slight edge here. But that doesn't mean everything, especially when faced with a full NA build. And I will say, like, Ryan's build in last game, such as it was, definitely relied on the obfuscation of his strategy until later on, which sometimes is more powerful than hitting some sort of sharp timing. And there it was, because Mick Monroe was... There was a whole lot of, like, wait, what are you doing? What is this? Why are there disruptors? There's a Colossus? What year is it? And then suddenly he was dead, which is kind of a rough go of things, but we'll see if Skylar has something up his sleeve. Knowing Taran players, though, it's going to be 3 command centers into dying to Blink Stalkers, but I'd be happy to be wrong. Taran players just on their their lifted horse. I should be able to go 3 CCs in every matchup on every map. No offense, Taran players, I'm sorry. You should. I agree. We will see if that's the case. Second guess is coming up for Skylar, so not a particularly quick 3cc or something. Peely, not surprised to see the Twilight Council. Will this be for your classical, if standard Blink flavor? Or maybe we mix in some Cape Boys, the DTs? Probably Blink. I mean, porque no los dos. But it is kind of expensive to go for DTs and Blink. Those rocks, target practice is over. Marines making sure their rifles are effective. Indeed they are. Blink begins. Shield battery on the way. Just playing it safe as Peely. Not taking any chances. There was no Reaper. It was just straight into Marine and then Reactor. A single Whittle Mine as well. A Tech Lab being added. This looks like a pretty early... That is a Tech Lab as well. Okay, okay. A little bit of everything again. A Cyclone. Okay. I'm kind of just... Some of these builds so far. And by some of these builds, I mean mostly Ryan. I'm just kind of watching as it happens, because it's hard to predict exactly what, when, where, or why. So this is looking like a 2-base play, with 2 more racks on the way. A Raven started. Cyclone for likely defense. You come together. And then in a couple minutes with stim and combat shields and maybe if we're lucky +1, you put together an attack. Ideally, 1, defending against Blink Stalkers. 2, if Peely deems it in his interest to take a 3rd, pressuring that. We will see. Peely just chilling right now. He's hanging out. Blink is done, but he hasn't even made a gesture towards moving out. He's also testing to make sure his stock. One stock, you see, you got to test it out. You got to know which stalkers you can rely on and which ones are going to be tripping over each other when you ask them to move out. Stim started, +1 on the way. Combat shields probably soon on the agenda. Peely thinking about a 3rd base. Thinking real hard about it, so hard that he actually just slaps it down. Meanwhile, is there a prism? Prism's in production. A medium amount. Oh, a medium amount of enough Blink Stalkers to kill tanks. Maybe snipe a few units. Speaking of, surprise, hello, goodbye, good day, good night. Yeah, rough start. That's, yeah, classic defensive turret. Actually gets the observer, so losing the Cyclone is possibly the best case scenario there. Like, losing the Cyclone was as good as it was going to get in that scenario. Target firing down, gets the Widowmine. Tank discourages further activity. Just keeping the Stalkers busy. There's still about 30 seconds till the +1, the combat shields, and the stim all come together alongside any starport units. Comes in, looks for a tank, but doesn't quite have enough for the volley. And eats... did he lose a Stalker? He's lost 2 Stalkers now. So 1 Stalker off the amount needed to one-shot the tank and taking a lot of extra damage because of it. But still, he gets a tank. And... these Stalkers are a constant annoyance outside the base. This is what you want to do. This is why you go Blink Stalkers. Even if you can't kill them outright, you can be all up in their grill, making every step they take out of their base. And even when they don't, incredibly annoying. But Stim is done. Looking for the chase. Gets 1. Looking for more. Doesn't find it. Forces the Blink out. The scan? I'm not sure what the scan was looking for. But... he does see a couple of mortals. Peely will. Oh, the boys! The boy! What? That are those SCVs? Yeah, that wasn't intentional. So sees immortals, realizes there's probably not. You know what? Let me revise. Sees there's no splash damage, just immortals in production. The boys are on the way. And with the boys, and since there's no splash damage, this has a realistic possibility. Yeah, charge lots into the main. The rest of the boys are coming now. You're invited. There's going to be no home to go back to. It's all in and all out right now. 12 SCVs to start. Shield battery overcharge. Peely just doesn't have that many units. The power of Taran. Peely trying to keep it together. The Immortals are holding via shield battery overcharge, but the robotics facility is vulnerable. 24 SCVs down on both sides of the assault. But there might just be too much for Skylar. Looking for more. The 3rd base is scanned. There's not much there. There's no production. Going for the main could leave us in a very awkward scenario. Peely trying to pick around the edges, but here comes Skylar. Just go. Oh, anti-armor missile. Hits all the probes, not like he needed it. No force field on the ramp. Oh, but the Immortal taking down the tanks all on his own. Microing back the probes, forced to fight, but Skylar might have too much. The probe count desperately low. The 3rd base is still mine, and the Immortal badly bruised. Shield battery overcharge, not going to help that much. Trying to bring the Immortal back in for it. There's going to be one last stand, one last chance. The pylons are being targeted. The last of the production. The medevacs are out of energy. If Peely can hold somehow, there might be a dream. There's actually not that, like, the medevacs being out of energy. There's not that much production. Peely ready to go. Coming in from the back. The Immortals. The Immortal on top. Target firing the tanks. Peely trying to keep it together. Another Warpin. He's still mining. Somewhat. A few Zealots at the back. The tanks must be protected. The Raven's still intact. The Zealots are down. The Nexus. In desperate straits, Skylar has 9 SCVs, and most of them are in the fight right now. Shield battery overcharge can't be used when you have no Nexus. The Immortal Micro at the back. Peely keeping it together. Oh, he lost the Immortal. Oh, no. Is there any other production? Peely's making 1 gateway. The Immortal was so important. There are mules. Wait, were there mules? I don't know where the... Oh, there are the mules. So somehow, it's not over yet. The tank still being alive is huge here for Skylar. He's got a Viking on the ground. Shield battery overcharges off cooldown. Production for Peely is coming back online. The Warp Prism might be used to repower gateways. More Stalkers on the way. Tanks looking for opportunities. Shield battery overcharge. Somehow we're down to this many units. And battery overcharge is helping out a lot. Peely's got to do something. Trying to micro back the Warp Prism. Maybe a Warp in directly on top. There's a couple more Marines, which represent a significant portion of army. 26 to 25 supply. Skylar's at 2 SCVs. But he has any amount of mules, which could be enough. The micro blinks on top of the tanks, but there's enough reinforcements. Or are there? The Prism still mining the last battery. Looking for more with the pylons. The medevacs at it. There's like 4 units here. The Warp Prism. Another Warpin. 2 more Stalkers. Is that enough? A cannon. A cannon. Oh, you gotta be careful with that Prism. There's still probes. The cannon under attack. Oh, the Stalkers blink back. That was the last static defense. The probes looking for a fight. Stalker goes down. 1 or 2 Marines trickling in at a time. Peely has 1 last chance at a defense. Not all the units are getting involved. What are they waiting for? Blinks out. I don't know where the Prism went. The Prism repowered the gateways. But you need all of the units. The pylon canceled at the last second. The tank itself under attack. The probe's dying. And again, the Team Genesis player finds themselves caught off guard by a ridiculously committed 2-base all-in. Peely has 0 probes, 50 minerals left. A scan committed to the main. Peely's not ready to give this up. Peely still has anything and a dream. Oh, the blink! He catches some units going for it. Loses 1 Stalker, but actually, somehow it's not over yet. Peely chases. Oh, the medevacs! It's not over yet! The blink cooldown needs vision. Gets it! Oh no, that 1 medevac is there's a tank. Oh my god. That tank though. The tank, a heartbreaker. If that medevac had gone down, there might have been a dream. But that medevac, it's still somehow not over. Deja vu. We've just blinked in this place before with many more probes, but now it's a disaster. Still going. There's not that many workers to go around at this stage. There are mules, unless you kill the orbital, which isn't off the table either. The Zealot, oh, be careful, goes for the tank. Wait, goes for the tank? Oh no, it costs everything. Skylar takes it home. Team Exxon Nina. Another win. Cuts Peely off at the knees. His micro kicks in, but too little and too late.
Donation confirmed.
You are the best caster. Such brain, much words, loves, heart, heart.
If I was a better caster, I could have said it better myself, but thank you. That, again, the the Genesis Gaming player not respecting the commitment from a team, from Exxon Nina. Think about it. Think about Nina. The aggressive, the almost reckless commitment to micro. Do you expect any less from the team members? That was the mistake going in for Genesis Gaming, and Nina hasn't even showed up yet. So, 2 matches in, 2 wins. We gotta do, are we doing the whisper method now? Where it's like, who's your next player? It is I don't know. It is, I'll play, sugar. I don't. It's gonna be Practice X, aka Baby Shark X. For X Gen X. Coming up next. Up against we're gonna find the Exxon Nino player. Remember, check out the NATL command or the description below. I have the player just joined the lobby. Oh, I did say the name of the player though. Was I not supposed to do that? Just tuned in on Peely Peely is way too serious / professional about the last game. He's not the one. I'm not the one playing. Like, Peely just lost a game for his team. He's gonna be serious, and he's probably pretty salty about it. I would be salty if I lost like that, because Peely was almost certainly the favorite, and he just lost like that, and he's not. And if he was streaming, and apparently he was, well, like, come on. I'm pretty salty for him. I mean, Skylar deserved it, yes, but also that doesn't mean we can't be salty. This is North America. That's just the default state. Especially since we've introduced the North American clowns into the league. Oh, what is our name now? Forever X. Okay. Anyways, first. Wait, a new player. Is this? I don't recognize at all. And maybe I should. Bond for Team Exxon Nina. Jennison, now known as Ganyu. Grandmaster, Protoss. Okay, at least I recognize now. I'm like, how is there anyone I don't know? It's been 10 years. 11 years. A lot of years. But here we are. It's been Forever X to introduce our Genesis gaming player. Will he fall to a classic 2-base all-in? Or will be able to withstand the tide of Team Exxon? Remember, all 5 matches will be played because this is the regular season. You get an amount of points. Okay. So for those of you who don't know sports ball, here's how it works a lot of the time. Not only do you tally up necessarily wins and losses, but amount of goals scored or losses, like goals given up or whatever amount. Really? We're going to go with the pylon block against a Taran? I appreciate the right next to it. Just slap it down. So wins and losses, if we end up in a tiebreaker situation, they will matter. One, both for showing more good games for the fans, of course, as well as potentially going into the playoffs. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to talk. PvT again. No PvP as yet today, which is a disappointment. The Reaper and Adept go their separate ways, agreeing to disagree about which player should win the game. A Twilight Council. The bunk... Wait. Okay, yeah, that is in the right spot. That is... I mean, it doesn't matter that much. It will eventually get moved. The grenade comes out, the Adept microwing back, the beautiful dancing of death. It's going to be blank against now Forever X / Practice X / Baby Shark X / XXX Genesis Gaming XX. There's a total of 3 X's. That's all I know. Oh my god. I didn't know if this was gonna happen. A man can dream. Wow. Okay. The Adept will die, but it will get a fresh mule, which... That's something. Worth it, just for the salt. And Taran players are particularly vulnerable to sodium overdose. And losing that mule, even though the Adept is now dead, which is a big weight off your shoulders as a Taran. Losing that mule. I'd say, even though on paper it's probably not worth the Adept, just the physical and emotional toll losing that mule will take is worth it, so. And the Adept, not just the cost of the Adept, but the actual scouting, because the scouting has done, there's been essentially no scouting. It could be anything right now out of Forever X. But of course, it's a Widowmine drop. And a classic tactic. Blink will be done in just a few seconds. But there's no vision of this besides the, well, how quick will the reaction be? With the pylon on the edge of the main. Boost in. The Stalkers. Oh no! Surprise. Blink in 2 seconds. That Widowmine did about as little as a Widowmine ever could. Following a probe into the assimilator. The assimilator eating the shot. The probe cowering safely inside for a very limited but effective amount of time. And that did less than nothing. Well, I get mining time. No. It didn't kill anything, and the Widowmine was lost. And now the medevac... I guess the medevac is just in timeout now. The Stalkers do have to stay here, but the medevac can't really get out without being vulnerable to Stalkers. So that's unfortunate. One very unlucky Marine sent to scout. Where do you think you're going? Very dead. Does scout the important third. This is looking suspiciously near identical. I mean, Taran players, right? The only question that remains right now is, will the boys be pulled? As this is essentially the same as the last game. There was a Widowmine drop, so this is going to hit a little later. But the unit composition, tanks, stim, combat shield, +1, Raven, the Tactiboys. It's a Tactiboys pull. And Ganyu on the other side with the blink in. Okay, everybody piling into the fight here. Not going for just sheer immortal blink stalker charge bot, but instead opting for Ruptors. Are any Ruptors out? There is 1 Ruptors. Where is the Ruptors? Oh, I think I just heard a disruptor shot go out. I don't think it killed much. Oh, the Raven! Oh no! Kind of the most important unit. But unfortunately, like 5 Stalkers. Go for the kill the battery. There's just not that many units. Got you down 20 supply here. Forever X putting it all together. The third base will probably just die. Now here come some reinforcements. Charge will be done in 10 seconds. Oh, Disruptor down. Third base dead. This is looking a little one-sided. The Disruptor back into the prism, but a scan. Disruptor shot thrown out. Finds an airball. And there's nothing stopping the Taran army now. And that puts one on the board. The Taran's finding great success with these tank timings. Just runs over. Widowmine drop. Yeah. Skylar claiming copyright infringement, though Skylar standing on the significant shoulders of many Korean Terrans before him, but sure, it would be un-American not to take credit. I will give him that. It's a 2-1. Yeah, Terrans right now, 3-0. Even though there wasn't a Terran in the first match, I think the real winner when the Protoss and Zerg fight are the Terrans. And when the Terrans fight is also the Terrans. So, 3-0 for Taran so far, but 2-1 in favor of Exxon Nina. Going into the Pillars of Gold. It looks like Steadfast is taking off his caster bow tie and fedora, and instead putting on his professional gamer wristbands for this match. And for Team Exxon Nina. And, of course, his lederhosen. Don't forget that. Very important. Looks like another Terran victory with Protoss versus Zerg. Or once they're ready, of course. Which will be any moment. We do it live! You could take this time to check out the North American Team League on Match Arena or Liquipedia and find out all the info, all the excitement, all the drama. And so much more. No, actually just that much. That exactly that much. Not more. But you can find all that out, so there's that. I'll bring the... Well, after today, at the end of today, we'll have some standings to look at. And you can make your predictions. It's gonna be Galaxy against Steadfast. Did they change colors? God damn it, guys. Let's pick, every team should pick a player color. And then we should enforce that. Wait. Is this the same as it was? I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure there were some matches where Exxon was blue. You see, this is the problem. We should establish that it's like just for branding. For branding. Come on. It's marketing. Happy birthday, Cham. I don't know if it's Cham's birthday. But, like, if two people are willing to commit to it, I'm... Happy birthday, Cham. The other side of Team Exxon. It is Cham's. Okay. It's not the internet birthday, which is any random day, but indeed. Now we have 3 people committing, including Drickett, the Tima. Okay. I'm going to commit. I'm gonna need a birth certificate. I want to know when you were hatched, so I can confirm. Is there a queen I can speak to? A lot of red tape. Yeah, don't ask a Zerg for that. Why do you think the queens can't fly anymore? Unrelated. Nothing of dramatic note. This is about as standard as it gets. All we need is a Stargate to really tie a bow on the... yep, there you go. But... Steadfast adding a little drama to the mix here. It's not just gonna be 3 bases, a few queens, and then seeing what you can do to negate the Stargate. No! Why do that when you could just... Oh... My, it's the drone pull. Well, trying to dodge the Adept, and we'll successfully do so. I think Galaxy a little suspicious here. I'd imagine partially. Oh. So there are 2 Adepts at home. Everything was scouted out here. The drone's popping through. The wall not there. If one of the Adepts goes down, that's a solid start. The drones are in. Wait, what? The Adept lived in an awkward change of events. But it like, oh, well, never mind. There's an Oracle. The drones are going home. Which is the most awkward way this could have ended. A strong choice, obviously Galaxy. Galaxy probably, like many of the Genesis players today, considered the favorite, so he was suspicious at the lack of third. But at the same time, like, this is actually doing some... This is the weirdest amount of damage this could have done, which is he got in, but then eventually the drones went home. And now there hasn't been, like, the economic damage isn't huge. And also there is a hard wall, which means the Adepts actually can't get out of the base. So... The drone pull was mildly successful, but also an overall failure. That was not enough damage to justify it, but it wasn't 0 damage either, which is a weird situation to end up... Rarely do you pull half a dozen at least drones, and then the game just kind of continues. I do think Galaxy handled that as best as he could with the Zerglings actually getting in. Oh, the Spore Crawler is finished just in time. Pretty well executed out of Steadfast. I think Galaxy knew something was coming. Like, it was very likely Steadfast was gonna try to pull something out of his hatchery. But it seems like that wasn't quite the expectation. So Galaxy killing his own pylon so that way he can go out and take a third. Meanwhile, Steadfast is trying to scramble into a decent economy. This is not... Well, there goes a probe trying to take the third, which gives a lot away as well. Immediately, I don't know if it was before or after Steadfast, adding 9 more drones on, which will allow them to catch up and surpass the Protoss. 1 Void Ray. What are we doing? Are we microing again? What is this? What is this? Okay. The probe waiting for its moment to go take a third. Steadfast with a pretty comfortable third. Actually catching up pretty well. The creep spread, understandably lacking. Blink. I don't... Is that enough? Okay, the probe goes down. The Void Ray just kind of melting through Zergling, slowly but surely. But Steadfast has recovered. And with Blink and +1 on the way. Blink isn't interesting. It's a safe choice in case there's... Essentially, if you're not at risk of dying immediately, Blink covers any potential follow-up. Where a bunch of roaches, Blink isn't bad. Mutas, Blink is good. Like, Hydra-Ling is where Blink is not amazing, but Hydras are a pretty long way off with a lair that's not even done yet. So, it's a... Well, you don't want to lose the Oracle, my god! Carrot! One more shot! What, Brenda? I do what I want. There's a lot of gates on the way as well. This will likely be an attack and a prism. I'm sorry. One more sec. And a warp prism. And a warp prism. No, we're microing. Okay, well, there that goes. Wait, who's attacking who? Where you guys go? Oh my god! And a warp prism! But... Oh my, that's a... So, Steadfast, unfortunately, is misreading this entirely. This is not... Turn around, turn around, turn around! Turn around! Everyone turn around! Oh no, he doesn't recognize. He should recognize, but... Oh, this is not where you want to... What is happening? What are we doing? Who put the toddlers in the Thunderdome? Not again. These are the weirdest armies to be fighting in the middle of the map. Why are we here? Who's attacking who? They both have 60 workers, which is enough for everyone to be uncomfortable. Oh, what a... No, well, the only thing that wasn't saved was the most badly bruised. The queens are just hanging out, providing moral support from a safe distance, which isn't great. They're on the march again. I don't know. Blink is... Without the queens, there isn't the sustain... Brenda! Get over here! We have no other... You're late! Better late than never! Oh, Blink's in, which is a bold move. I don't know if you saw the queens. The queens are here. What is going on? The queens can take a lot of stalker hits. Zergling showing up. Void Ray's down for the count. Zergling's tanking. The queen's an integral part of this. Where are the corrosive biles on the prism? The queen's still fighting. More Zerglings. The queen count is thinning out. Attacking into a mostly gateway army. No, it's a little late for this. Yeah, it's a little late for the retreat. Everyone dies. Yeah, not the German taxi. I'm getting on board with the German clown car. Das Hamburger build, if you would. As, Galaxy is searing some fresh Zerg meat. That was everyone doing their best to outmaneuver themselves, as Galaxy only needed to defend against such an attack. Blink Stalkers with +1, you get a few good force fields and you can easily pull it apart. But Galaxy decided to attack up into the high ground. But fortunately for him, Steadfast Queens were against the whole endeavor, but had no choice but to be pulled in to fight later. After half the Zerg army was already dead is when the Queens got involved, which was a little late. But since Galaxy was attacking up into a high ground, it wasn't really a great location for him either. At the end of the day, the sheer effectiveness of that Protoss army won out. But it was a strong effort not to. And I think the move for Steadfast would have been as soon as you see blank or that many sentries, you just back off and, I don't know, go mutas or something. Possibly Hydras. Something that's not attacking in with the German clown car, but here we are. Yeah, I don't think the Germans want any credit. I don't think Lambo wants any credit for this build. Okay. The American clown car build. I'm sorry. There are almost no sentries with this. The corrosive biles blinks out at the last second, but that exposes the Colossi. It seems like there's far too much Protoss. Blinks back into the front. There's not much to fall back to here. It's just roaches and ravagers, and there are plenty of stalkers with +1. I think there's an immortal or two. I see one. Well, the corrosive biles almost snipe it. The roaches shouldn't be enough here. Unfortunately for Steadfast, that might bring us to an ace match. And you know who Exxon Nina has not yet fielded? You know who hasn't yet played? I think I gave a lot away by starting the sentence like that, but this should be Galaxy finally securing his victory. But Steadfast putting up a steadfast fight. The roaches and ravagers trying to close the distance. Yeah. Even the Overlord's getting in on the action. GG. All tied up. Oh yeah, also special. Wait, is special on Nina's? I was gonna say Nina. But maybe Nina's one of those captains. Like, the captain doesn't play, the captain commands the ship. Thank you, Protoss F2 Race, for 16 months. Thank you for that timing. That was, another close match. We will see. It's 2-2, but all 5 matches are played other way. But this is the most dramatic way for that to happen. Yeah, off the strong efforts of Ryan and Skylar with those 2 wins. We will see who is the last challenger for both teams. Yeah, Taran comes out on top of that one. Taran not losing a single match in this series. It is going to be Team Exxon Nina's Exxon Nina as the ace match player.
Hell, it's about time.
Against Starkiller. Wait, what? That's not the right... You're on Alpha X. No, Starkiller. It's not yet. Next match. You're a little early. Spoilers. Without fancy border. I don't know. We have technical difficulties. Peely apparently got like some weird overlay during his man. I don't have any idea. Like 40% of the time it just works fine. I know what. We're gonna let our top tier administrative team work out what the hell's going on with this, while we talk about how amazing the North American Apprentice Team League is and how you, for absolutely free, can support it. Use the NATL command in Twitch chat or the description below. And with the NATL code, you can check out, you can, for free money, for people who've played way more Starcraft than you ever will, to support their efforts in maintaining this clown car. We will see. First, though, while we're here, we can check out all the details of the NA Apprentice Team League, up to $449 in prizes for those eventual victors. And now let's take a look at the standings. Right now, Team Storm is at 4-1 with a +3 in matches. Alpha X 1-0. Genesis Gaming, the NA Clowns coming in a week late, so they got a lot of work to do. Let's see, can we... What is the easiest way to see the rosters? Oh, Peely is showing up for Genesis Gaming. We got that PvP we were waiting for. The NA Clowns featuring a wide variety of teamless Protoss and a couple Zergs. The Taran's winning there by all being on teams. Is there any way Taran can lose nowadays? It's unclear. You know what? I'm just gonna let this play out. This might be the most clown car move we could possibly have. We'll see. We're gonna get Sugar in, as both Peely and Nina have thought about ZVZ. They seem to want to play Zerg versus Zerg instead of Protoss versus Protoss. and are now debating that. Which, here we are. When you thought things couldn't get, the fiesta couldn't get any more clowny, we're just gonna, we're just getting everybody involved. Everybody like, okay. They say we play enough PvP and ladder. In tournaments, we play a real race. Okay. Well, here we are. The admins have agreed, and by that I mean Sugar. It's happening. The star players for the teams are going to be playing Zerg instead of Protoss, and we're going to have a ZVZ. So, here we are for the ace match between Exxon Nina and Genesis Gaming, which is probably the most appropriate thing that could happen here. Both of them not... let's put it this way. Both of them I would be competitive with, especially in ZVZ. So, this should be interesting. Based on what they're quoting their Zerg MMRs to be. Only a couple, maybe 1,500 under their Protoss MMRs. So, almost an entire Bronze League under their Protoss MMRs. But, like, can anyone really tell the difference with Zerg? Let me introduce, in the top left, with the Zerg pieces. It's X... Genesis. Wait. What? Why are there X's? Because Gen G was not good enough. Like, we got to throw some X's on the side because we got 6 characters in the clan tag. Why not? Genesis Gaming's Peely Peel. And in the bottom right, also Zerg. For Team Exxon Nina's team, it is Exxon Nina, the Zerg player. So here we go. I expect this to somehow be the most high-level match of this entire series so far. We've had 2 base all-ins. We've had workers pulled in several cases. Drama, excitement, but we've gone a step further and we've just converted entirely into Zerg. So here we are. The ladder, like the Grandmaster ladder, there's only like 4 Zergs. So... we gotta get our Zerg play in somehow. That's not true. There's like 40. I think that's the actual number now. It's like 40 out of 200. You can do the math on that. It is a little concerning. But they did mention they get enough PvP on the ladder, it's time to play a real race for tournaments, so... So far, standard openers. We've got speed. We've got queens. I mean, this is true for every matchup, but... Now, Nina might not realize the reason we don't put overlords in this location in ZVZ, I gotta put on my angry coach Lederhosen for this, is because the other Zerg also has overlords. But... Peely might not know that because his overlords are somewhere else. Meanwhile, 4 lings against 8 lings. Peely just making lings, which is a pretty reliable strategy. Neither player with a baneling nest. So Peely, with all these soon-to-be speedlings, speed 4 seconds faster. Which is enough to chase down and kill a single Zergling. Nina making some more now, but Peely has plenty on the way across. Roach warrens for both sides. We're just skipping banelings entirely. The third base gonna be vulnerable. A little bit of creep from the queen coming out. More Zerglings do beat less Zerglings, but it's just a zoning tactic here. Nina trying to by as much time because the third base is vulnerable now, but a lot more Lings coming in from Peely. When you don't have Banelings, you're going to have a tough time. The Lings looking for the wraparound, find the Queen. Zerglings getting the surround on everything else. Peely going in for the kill. More Lings on the way, but not enough. The drones have to be pulled. Nina has 5 more than Peely at the start of this. I don't think it's going to end like that, though. 2 drones. Queen goes down. More drones. 28 to 26. Peely finding damage. And this is why Banelings exist. As we're learning here. More Zerglings come out. Peely gonna get cleaned up. It'll even out. A few roaches on the way. Peely with the follow-up. Fully committed. Not pretending like he's gonna play some sort of silly macro game, but instead, 27 drones, Lings, and now roaches. Nina trying to get a lair as well as a roach one, as well as losing some drones earlier, which means that's a larva that ain't coming back. 6 roaches on the way, but Peely already has 13, which is more than 6. More roaches for Nina, but another wave of the attack. Nina does have more drones, and that third base being done provides some larva. But we will see. Is the roach a few roaches rebelling against the Warren? The roach count may be too high here, though. It's not the fastest. Roaches don't kill each other very quick. They just kind of drool all over one another until someone wins, which is Zerg in a nutshell. But Peely just takes it home in 5.5 minutes for Genesis Gaming, 3-2. And that's it. It's all over. Peely coming through with Peely lost as Protoss, but he clutches with Zerg. So there you go. So which, I don't know, is Peely switching to Zerg? You heard it here first. So that will decide the match. And that's going to be 3 wins and a match going to Genesis. Whereas Exxon Nina dropping. Picking up 2 wins along the way, but dropping the match. And where is that going to leave us in the standings? Exxon Nina, unfortunately. Well, I'm not sure it's updated yet. Currently, the Exxon Cham and the NA Clowns all tied up. And wow, we are perfectly on time. Did we actually schedule it for 90 minutes and go 88 minutes? 89 minutes, rather? Wow. Just everyone committed to staying perfectly on schedule. So, now everyone, hopefully you enjoyed that match. In 30 seconds, we'll be starting Alpha X versus Risen from the Gosu, aka RNG Pro. And that starts now. I think we need to figure out who's playing first. We can look at the rosters, but we can first look at Match Arena, where I will demonstrate after you log in with Twitch. All you gotta do is you gotta put the coupon code NATL, boom, free money right there. No problem, no effort, absolute 0 effort, like Zerg. Am I right, Terrans? Moving on. And then just like that. Oh yes, the return of AKA Fish. Thank you, Pastor, for the raid as well. Hopefully, Cham versus the Clowns was good. All right. You guys were excited about ZVZ. So we gave you more. Even more ZVZ starting North American Apprentice Team League Week 2 of the regular season. We got Alpha X, Team Alpha X versus Risen from the Gosu RNG Pro. Wait, is it RNG Pro? Because this one, this clan tag says Risen. But I've seen other people with the RNG Pro tag, and I don't know if those are different things. But we're gonna find out. Or should they be? Anyways, I'm gonna make a strong effort to enforce team colors here so people can actually keep track of who's on whose team. Let me first introduce for Team Alpha X. Destroyer of Worlds. And also stars, but also worlds. And metagames. And mines. Star Killer. And in the bottom right, from Risen, I'm just gonna go with RNG Pro. That's easier. We have another Zerg, the fan favorite. Going with the hatch first. And then when the crowd chants his name, it just sounds like the wind is howling extra loud. They say, "Go get him!" That was dumb. Hello, is that you? Stop! Stop! It's not funny. It wasn't funny the first time. And it's less funny every time after. Star Killer with early Zerglings. But this is just kind of a... I want to make sure I don't get all in, plus you don't know what I'm doing. I'm Star Killer. I'm probably going to make 22 drones and then 400 Zerglings. But you're not sure because it's almost impossible to scout. Because I'm going to have a queen out even earlier, and I'm going to push your overlord back, and look, I got some Zerglings, so you got to freak out about this, and ha-ha! And that's Star Killer in a nutshell. Oh, well, that's a drone. Not going to be happy about that one. And then the Zerglings just walk out, which is, they get away with murder! I mean, take a little bit of HP down, and then they're just gonna go home. Okay. Go tell their friends what they did. a roach horn. The follow-up here. Hopefully Nina and Peely are taking notes, by the way. Two queens at the front. Any more queens? There are no more queens being produced. So this is not like... It looks a little like a macro play, but it's mostly... Aha! Type of build. A designated pressure. The queens at the front are to deny Zerglings and maybe push out Ovies. In order to mask as much as possible the fact that 8 roaches are now in production. So we will see. Because right now has almost 10 more drones and is building more, which is not really great against someone who has a bunch of roaches. Panic time! Panic! It's time for panicking! There's... Oh, cancels the third. 1, 2, 3 spines on the way. Yes, panic is in order. Seeing that while it's still in Starkiller's base was important for the RNG. I don't know what you're hiding. Like, the roaches were scout. I don't know why we're walking out this way. But sure. Like, he knows. We're taking the scenic route. I'm not sure if it's that much slower, but... Starkiller deciding to... Like, the Zerglings saw they just because they weren't moving doesn't mean he didn't see him. So I don't know why we took the long way home. But... the spine crawlers will finish now. Just, like... Okay, so the Evo Chamber is going to have a bad day. Cancels +1. It still has more drones, but... It's just Zerglings to defend. A Roach Horn on the way. Starkiller really using this well. No, I don't... Brenda, what are we doing? This seems like a bad idea. The roach count, the roaches are making... They're holding the line. But once one breaks, the rest will follow. Or will they? That was about as cost-effective as it was going to get for Starkiller. I gotta say, with a solid defense. And meanwhile, the North American clown car is just... It's out of gas, okay. But it has plenty of minerals. Shut up. Shut up, Winter. Because queens only cost minerals. That's enough. So now what? There's a hard wall at the front. Roach speed is on the way. Starkiller with +1/+1 with a third. Starkiller always does a good job of recognizing when it's not going to happen. Like, that was about the best it was going to get. Now, once the spine crawlers were done and that many Zerglings on the field, all right, so now, do you want to get involved too? You just going to let him do it? Okay. Don't do it, by the way. Don't you dare try to go in right when the Evo finishes. Okay, well. That is, the proxy war continues. Broodlings versus Zerglings. Who's the real-lings? The Zerglings do survive because it was kind of obvious what the answer was going to be there. You see Nina and Peely. This is how real players play ZVZ. They just randomly get roaches until someone wins. Well, that is kind of what happened in Nina versus Peely as well. So, so where are we here? Starkiller has 1-1 without very many, the upgrades are significantly later. It's 20 roaches to 13, and the roaches of Starkiller have speed and +1 attack. The only defense is a few more queens with a lot of energy, a handful of Zerglings, and a couple spines that are kind of... well, now we're down to 3 queens. Starkiller... It feels like Starkiller just doesn't have quite enough. Like... If there were 5 more roaches, you could just commit. But there aren't 5 more roaches. There are exactly the amount of roaches that there are. Which That's why I'm here, to bring you information like that. So, Fish, I can't do it anymore. I can't. I can't use his true, I can't use his Klingon name anymore. My human tongue can't handle it. So Fish is now ahead on supply with more roaches, but the upgrades are way ahead. As Starkiller has 2-2, and +2 is like... It's nearly a whole upgrade ahead. So, Fish is gonna have way more roaches, but the upgrades, if Starkiller can actually use them... Okay, so the Ravagers are out there using the Speedulas. But Speedulas work both ways. You gotta be careful. It's a 40 supply gap. I forgot how to do math for my entire life. But a 40 supply gap, but +2 will be done, which is very helpful. Isn't helpful enough. The corrosive biles do find solid connections. +2 finishes. The corrosive biles, they don't just hit, but like they force micro. They are hitting. Is there enough for Starkiller here to actually defend? He's ahead on drones, which is not a good sign. Fish turning this around. +1 is, it's 1-1 versus 2-1, which isn't a huge gap. Great corrosive bile out of Fish. A handful of roaches. Looks like he's turning this around for RNG Pro. The drones are falling. Starkiller has to kill his own Evo chamber. Not the first time he's done that, by the way. Meanwhile, drones are being slaughtered by a split-off group of roaches. More corrosive bile coming out. Finding a few connections. A handful staggered by Fish. You gotta be careful, both sides backing off, but the supply. Look at the supply. Starkiller, for some reason, has a 4th base, which was ambitious. Fish is catching up on +2. And with that, well, Starkiller has +2+. He tried to get everything. Oh, that's it. What? There's an overlord there. Trying to hide with the other Ovies. I'm one of you. No. Never. So the only advantage is the upgrades. And that advantage is about to be whittled down as Fish is finishing up +2. Starkiller with a lot of roaches on the way, but it feels like the potential advantage is essentially gone. As that many roaches, 129 to 108 army supply. There's not that much vision on the map as the Ovies have been cleared out. You don't want to have your Ravagers out in front. Fires off some shots. Forces the fight. +2 now done for Fish. Shots coming out from both sides. We're just going to have to see where they land. The Ravagers in an awkward spot. The concave, the hatchery acting as a force field. Well, there goes the hatch. Meanwhile, the 4th for gonna finish. Starkiller with a whole lot of bruised roaches and rabbit. I'm not sure how he's going to claw his way out of this one, as there are now no advantages. I guess technically +2 carapace, but that's next to nothing compared to being down 40 army supply and a base, as well as 10 workers. Yeah, good. What a dodge! Well, here comes the roaches and Ravagers again. Starkiller not quite in position in time. And the full spread. Both sides throwing out the corrosive biles. A whole lot of Ravagers. Everything landing. Oh, carnage. Butchery. And it... Well, what? Okay, so Starkiller wins that. Loses 7 drones, though, which... is a heavy price. Now a 60, so the fact that Starkiller is still alive is impressive. But at the end of the day, there's a roach drop coming in. Fish is able to replenish quite quickly. Roach is not known for how expensive they are. That's not the ideal. Okay. Just throwing it out there. Meanwhile, Fish coming in with the main thrust of his force and just kind of walks up to the front door and is like, well, I see you still have Evo chambers. Let me help you with that. Trying to win a fight on every front, but Starkiller's handling it well enough. I think it might just be too much, though, at this point. Well, it's a mess, but it's not enough of one as takes it. Risen from the ghost. That'll put him up. +1 to start things off. Well, there you go. Another just decisive ZVZ. No, that isn't a particularly strong gust of wind. That's a stadium of fans cheering. Hopefully they can take that determination. It's just, hopefully they're wearing masks. I don't... I'm gonna have to wash them after. Anyways. But, now we have... Wait. No. Ah! I was trying to... Close enough. At least... I was trying to enforce the team colors, but... Alternatively, the match takes too long or too slow. Or too quick. And we're close enough. At some point, I will drill it through the players that having your team have a consistent color is kind of important for people to remember who's who and who you're representing. But it is not this day. And they didn't pay enough for my marketing tips class, like, don't use completely different colors for each game. But let me introduce for RNG Pro. I mean, blue is easy enough. Okay, fair. Maybe it affects me more than other people. Maybe I'm the one with the problem. Looking to further the lead, another Zerg, it's Scrubbles. And then, in the bottom left, for Team Alpha X, breaking out the Protoss, Asuna. Uh-oh. Wait. It... Shame. And so it begins. No shame. Just slaps it down. The drone. Oh no. It's not quite a wall, but it's close enough. Where's the robo? We're gonna have a robo in a moment. 2 spine crawlers on the high ground is the play. More cannons on the way. There's a second probe that was just kind of happening by. Needs more Are we just gonna go straight for it? At some point, are we gonna slap on a shield battery? No, another cannon. We're just gonna... But there's no high ground vision, which is potentially a big issue here. Even the probe getting in on the action. But you're gonna want to get high ground vision to be able to kill those spine crawlers. There's a pylon providing said vision. The probe waiting for its moment. The probe just hanging out. The spine crawlers are burning, which, you know, looks kind of weird. Unfortunately, that one was still in cannon range. It's all falling apart. Is the spine going to be in? One more spine might not be enough here. The cannons are pulling things together. The spine crawler able to maneuver. The probe under attack. The probe on the run. The probe going deep. Without the high ground vision, eventually the queens can clear this up. There's another probe waiting for its moment. This might be that moment. As there's no... Wait, where did the... What? Are you just abandoning the cause? Just leaves? Meanwhile, the probe is still in the main, though. So, like... The spine crawler can... The drone and the queen... hunted down. But the expansion itself could easily be... Oh, it transfuse! It's not going to be enough. So... where does this leave us? If the spine crawler, it doesn't actually burn like a Taran belly, and that's just a graphical effect. It's like the Brood War burn. Oh. So the spine will angrily slam its face into the pot. Oh, and the Adept shows up. It's a little... Wait, what? 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 The Adept can't believe it. Like, the Adept is like, wait a second. Are you not gonna stop me? That's killing 1/8. Oh my god, 3 drones is completely unacceptable. Three drones when they have... There was only 17 drones. 3 drones was a massive percentage of the entire Zerg economy. It's... That Adept just took what was a bit of a tenuous situation where it could go either way. It's a little rough, but it could still go either way. Into, well, I hope these banelings do it for me. Huh. Well, the Void Ray, the most obvious by far follow-up to a cannon rush, unfortunately, is also effective. And that's it. The cannon rush didn't kill him, but it left him crippled. And he hobbled his way into not even a baneling bust, and then decided to just tap it out. Which is definitely the most sad way for that to go. When the cannon rush doesn't kill you, but it leaves you dead inside, is when things get really rough. The Banes didn't even die. That's important to point out. Like, the Banes lived, but Scrubbles did not. And that's gonna tie the series up. And now, finally, Terrans will be defeated for the first time tonight. Terrans are the victor. Let me see. I got the branding in for the team. But in a Taran versus Taran, one Taran must fall. A tragedy. But for the first time. We got Vindicta of Team Alpha X against Goomba. Both solid Grandmasters. Vindicta probably the favorite, but TVT, the chess boxing match that it is, where both players take, well, like, essentially, if there isn't a proxy, what happens in TVT is not the knife fight in a phone booth that ZVZ is, with Lings and Banes, and then roaches getting up in each other's gills, or grills, or both. Grill gills. Bear grills. Gills. That explains the fish. Moving on. Or the drunken lightsaber fight in Zero Gravity, that is Protoss versus Protoss. No. TVT is 2 gentlemen lining up, taking 10 paces or 5 minutes, getting a Raven, and then trying to shoot each other in the face. And then if they both miss, taking another 5 minutes and doing it all again. That is a lot, especially since neither player adding a and another part of that analogy, by the way, just skipping past the lack of proxy racks, is they'll either both try to shoot each other at once, as in a gentleman's duel, or if someone misses their shot, the other player gets a solid minute to line up their counter shot. As if someone misses, that usually means they lose some tanks or air control and cede it to the other player for it depends on the situation, but for a significant amount of time. And that is why, especially in the early game, you don't see usually a particularly committed attack. Because you lose 2 out of 3 of your tanks, and they lose 0 out of 3 of their tanks. Well, then they have 2 more tanks. And I don't like to do math, but even I am forced to consider the implications of that. The SCV, murdered, accepts its fate. Goomba was looking for some proxy wrecks, but no, we got a 2-gas opener, but it looks like neither is particularly committed. It's a macro 2-gas. They got 2 out of 2 now. It's just to get the factory up, because if you have a factory and they don't, or vice versa, you can't have what you need to defend early. It is essentially a mirror match so far, but that is about to change. Looks like instead of doing the intermediary move of making Hellions, we're just going to go straight to Cyclone. Oh yeah, Goomba. Oh, we forgot it was Goomba. Goomba with his... Yeah, Goomba's a little different. Goomba's a little special, if you would. No. Special's actually on X on Nina's team, my bad. Surprisingly not champs. Anyways. Goomba still plays like it's 2018 and Cyclones are the thing you build at all times because they counter everything. He did this, I believe it was against Practice X last week. He just made a whole bunch of Cyclones with Magfield, and then Practice X tried to counter with less Cyclones, which didn't work out well for him. Oh, but getting up in there, the Cyclone gets a lock on. Reaper, Cyclone, Cyclone, Reaper, Cyclone, struggling. More damage. Doesn't quite get the wall. He's not going to be able to repair it in time. By the way, this is also an important scout. Another Cyclone about to pop out, targeting down SCV. Cyclone getting involved. Reaper murdered. Just targeting SCVs now is Vindicta, but finding any damage here is pretty important. Only 2 SCVs. The most important part of this was seeing the upgrading tech lab. Yeah, Goomba gonna counter scan here, essentially. But seeing the upgrading tech lab and seeing the Cyclone, Vindicta now knows what's up. A good counter is the medevac, because the medevac can help you dodge the lock-ons. You lock on any ground units, pick it up, well, they don't know what they're shooting at anymore. Of course, if the medevac itself is locked on to, things get complicated, but... So this is a slightly risky maneuver out of Vindicta, I would say. Because if the medevac dies, then so does everything else. Actually, yeah, the more I see of this, the less I like it. Because you know he's going for upgraded Cyclones. So... this seems like a massive risk. Oh my god. Well, this is... well... Okay, yeah, well... that's about the best that could have gone. Oh, what? Yeah. What are we doing? Where are you going? What is this? Okay. I mean, it's getting better as time goes. This is a wild tank. All right. Its medevac was killed seconds ago. It's had to live life off the land. It learned how to survive. Oh, a tank like that. You want to just leave it alone. Because it probably won't unsiege for the rest of the game. Just don't go over there. Yeah, just don't bother it, and it won't bother you. Oh, wait. I know. Oh. You gotta be careful. He wants to go home. He misses his family. Unfortunately, the Cyclones never had a family. Oh. Down it goes. Murder! They cannot empathize. So once again, Goomba has a tendency to do this. This will happen. This is definitely something in mirror matches that's the most effective. Because in mirror matches, there's kind of like, both players usually will go for similar unit compositions, no matter if it's TVT, ZVZ, or PvP. But here, Goomba's just taken this unit that nobody builds en masse. At least not anymore. And players are like, wait, what am I supposed to attack? I think I attack. And then they attack. They're like, wait a second, maybe I don't attack. And I think against Cyclones, you just build up enough tanks to always have cover. Like, you gotta leapfrog it. Otherwise, the one thing Cyclones are great at is picking off small groups of units. So you need to have an overwhelming number that the Cyclones can't just shave off bits and pieces. Meanwhile, by the way, Raven coming in, finding 7 SCVs. Double drop heading out. So, you gotta be careful with that orbital. What is there at home? Goomba is transitioning to your more classical mech composition. He had the Whirlwind opener with the Cyclones, but he is now building Viking Tank, which is just classic mech. Straight out of Wings of Liberty. This is happening. The double drop in the main catches a tank. The Cyclones also snapped up Vindicta, finding the opportunity, hitting him from left, right, and then forced him back in the center. For this amount of bio, there's just not really the units to deal with it. None of the units that Goomba has are particularly effective against this bio. It just picks up. Most of the clones are, oh, but he got a lock onto the Medivacs. It doesn't actually kill anything, and this is kind of falling apart here. 4 Marauders are a deadly number. Gets the lock on the Medivacs, knocks them down. 4 Marauders still going at it. Those Marauders learned to live off the land. Okay, no they didn't. Their siege tank father taught them all they know. But wait, here, speaking of, here comes everyone else. Getting involved. Vikings on the deck. An overwhelming number of units. He doesn't need 1-1, he just needs 2 Gs. Vindicta takes it for Team Alpha X. And that was, it felt a little ambitious. Putting the Cyclone so far out on the map. I think Goomba felt confident after killing the first Medivac. But at the end of the day, the problem with going for, like, trying to, especially since he was trying to go into your standard mech composition, there's just this weird, relatively long couple minutes where you don't have much anti-air, and your anti-ground is not very maneuverable. So you're super vulnerable to drops, especially if your Cyclones are on the other side of the map. So the best part about bio, the best part about bio is how quickly it can come together and be effective. And that's what happened here. We have Trigger versus Prototype. Another victory for the Terrans. It's Protoss versus Zerg, by the way, once the players are ready. 2-1 Alpha X. But all matches will be played, or else. All right. Is this? No. We just watched the Taran. But another Zerg on the field for RNG Pro. RNG's Pro. No, it was going to be clever, but now it's not clever anymore. Prototype. Yeah. Here we are. Where are you going? That's... Okay, we'll talk about that in a moment. And... like... many Protoss... That's an interesting chrono. In the bottom left, the Grandmaster Protoss for Team Alpha X. Trigger. Which is a pretty hardcore name with 2 capital G's, by the way. In his name. We'll see if he's triggered by a hatchery at his natural. Inspired by Bly. I think Bly has a pretty solid copyright claim on proxy hatcheries at this stage. I'm still not sure if the best move is to kill it quick. I guess it depends on what you're comfortable with. How do you feel about someone showing up on your lawn and just kind of plopping down a hatchery? Some players are not having any of it. You pull like 12 probes, you get that zealot out, we're done with it. We're making a nexus. Some players are like, okay, I'll move on with my life. It looks like Trigger on seeing on the other side, that prototype is... This is a macro hedge. And by macro, I don't mean like getting extra larva. I mean, I want a macro and I don't want you to. Macro hedge. He just gets out and leaves. He decides... I don't actually want to commit to... The drone survives, which is impressive. There's no cybercore yet. He was focused on getting the Nexus, and now we'll add on the cyber, but he was very committed to making sure that Nexus comes up. So, besides this one zealot, there's almost no potential for aggression. This is it. There's one very angry zealot. And that's it. A few lings are going to come out. I doubt he'll commit to many. Prototype does have gas. Should be starting speeds. Screw you guys! Why are you so fast? Why don't I have any ranged weapons? I'm an advanced alien. I mean, I'm not an alien. You're the aliens. We're the firstborn. Yeah, well, why do you think they made more? Why do you think they born more types of species? Because obviously something went wrong. How dare you! So the Zealot just kind of dies. I think it respawns as a Stalker or something. I don't know. Well, as we know, it becomes an Immortal, which then gets healed by a Medic, and then you go Super Saiyan, and one Zealot will take down potentially the rest of everything else on the map. I think that's canon. I've watched Starcraft, which is what I accept as the true lore of Starcraft. Does that make Zerg the awkward middle? Now, I'm pretty sure the Terrans are just independent. Like, the Terrans just show up. There's this whole, like, domestic dispute between the Zerg and the Protoss. And then the Terrans, as Terrans do, just kind of get involved because they're there. I don't think the Xel'Naga made the Terrans. They just... getting themselves up in their business. I didn't pay close enough attention, I don't think. Amon just talks a lot and it's annoying. Spoilers. Void Ray. That reminds me of when there was my favorite and also the worst bug that, like, 1 out of 8 games or so, you go to the score screen after a hard-fought ladder match. I know most of you won't empathize. And then for some reason, the sound of a charged-up Void Ray would just be there, and assault you. Like, you just lost a tough match, and then bzzz. It's like, what? How is this a bug? This doesn't make any sense. How does this happen? And that was like 3 months. And it was just rare enough you'd forget about it. And then bzzz. It's like a planet side level bug where, congratulations, 1 out of 10 times your aircraft spawns upside down. Why? Because screw you. That's why. I don't. Oh no, the American clown car build. Well, he bought a German taxi. He bought it wholesale, of course. And then he decided to rebrand. And here we go. The American clown car build is on the way. Doing its best impression. Still advertising itself as German engineering. But we know better. Oh, the Void Ray. Maybe the Overlords. The Overlords. Yo! The Overlords. Brenda, is that a boy? Yes! Get out, get out, get out, get out of the car! Get back in! Oh, okay, oh, everybody's okay! Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out! Oh, down goes my Void Ray. Catches a lot of the sentries, but there is a shield battery or two. 1 Void Ray going down. Walk the rest of the way! Couldn't you drop me off closer? No! Unfortunately, the Queen's not quite here at the start. I'm not... There's Blink on the... It's not done yet. Corrosive Bile. This is... We're slowly whittling down units on both sides. Blink is nearly done, which is going to help out a lot, actually. The Void Ray! It's still charged up. You can cancel that, you know. Void Ray just hanging out. That the Queens still have enough energy that they're holding the line. Oh, the Corrosive Biles do a surprising amount of damage. The Void Ray on hold position in Queen range somehow lives. What a save! The Queen's very angry, but they're thinning out. They're running out. They blink blunt on. We didn't invite these people. Well, you can't. You're on their lawn. They have a right to be here. What do you mean those batteries are not regulation? You don't make these... Oh, unfortunately, though, even though Trigger defended that well, there are now Zerglings in his base, which is really going to undercut a lot of the success of that defense. Yeah, the Zerglings are going to do more damage than the entire attack. 7 probes, and drags the whole army back. Kills a couple stalkers as well. And this buys a redonkulous amount of time. At first, the counterattack could have been dangerous. Prototype didn't have a great economy, didn't have a lot of units. But now, delayed by at least 30 seconds and killing some probes. The fact that Prototype is not making units is very concerning because the attack is coming. He's making 2 roach. This doesn't, like, Queens, hashtag Yas Queens. Queens are good, but you're gonna need, like, way more roaches than that. You don't know why you thought he'd get away with this. You had plenty of time to prepare for this. War Prism shows up and the Queens will kill the Void Rays. Revenge! Blocks in. A bold move. The drones are pulled. There's still way too many Stalkers here. Prototype definitely greedy in not building units. Could use a few Zerglings involved, but the Roaches are reinforcing. They don't have any upgrades. It's +1 Blink Stalkers. We're doing regular Blink and Prism Blink, getting real fancy with this. Maybe just blink like a normal person. Okay, why are you blinking with 2 eyes? That's weird. That's not even blinking anymore. That's just... It looks like it's working, though. And this will put potentially Team Alpha X at a 3-1 winning the match, though we will be playing match 5 for the map score. GG. He gets 2. Okay. A solid defense and counterattack.
Hell, it's about
Trigger is able to take home and secure a match win. Though we still have a match to play. To determine, yeah, like, well, we'll look at the standings after this match. Let's see. I'm desperate, like, every time. I should just have down a copy paste because every single player needs, well, hopefully next week. Now this will determine, I think, who's going to be at the top of the standings. We have Sinner versus Bowman. Some pretty hardcore names out of Team Alpha X today, I gotta say. Vindicta, Trigger, and Sinner. No, they're not an anime antagonist trio, but instead, Team Alpha X's best players. Let me introduce, in the top left, Team Alpha X's Taran. It's Sinner. And in the bottom right, looking to put another on the board for RNG Pro, coming in as Protoss, it's Bowman. And yeah, that Pro making sure that the assimilator can take a hit or two. Yeah, Team Alpha X with the most hardcore name of all. Leading the charge. Wait, no. That was RNG Pro who had... I'm sorry. It was a much more playful name to start off for Team Alpha X. Star Killer. I take it back. These are not anime antagonists. They're Star Wars spin-offs. The entire thing. It's like, they're just names of Star Destroyers and bases. It would work. Okay. It actually... Now that you think about it... That's a bunker. Okay. Has this been... Yeah, it's a little suspicious that the SCV... Oh, I like this. Potentially putting a battery on the low ground. Now this is supposed to be, like, it's not supposed to do real damage. It's just supposed to be annoying. I like the battery on the high ground play. Making Sinner think he's going to get more done than he will. The Reaper will go into the main first. Whatever you can do as a Taran to take control of the situation is usually a solid move. Oh! The Stalker looked the wrong way for a second. We're going to add another bunker? I'm like, well, wait a second. Yeah, that seems a little ambitious. Already off. There goes the SCV goes down, which is actually great. That's about the best you can hope for. Because now that the SCV is down, you can kind of just kill the bunker because of the shield battery. The only downside is that a shield battery isn't incredibly helpful against anything else. It doesn't cover much of the mineral line. So, the probes sent back. The Reaper not gonna... Okay. Just, it accepts its death. The Gatekeeper probe waiting for its moment. And now a couple Hellions on the way. So there's not going to be a wall at the natural for Bowman. But 2 Hellions. The only thing to defend is going to be 2 Hellions and 1 Marine in a bunker. Which... Nobody has enough units right now I'm not sure how this ends. Like, if he notices it's just one Marine, yeah, you can just... Okay. Alright. Like... Oh. None. Alright. Well. Now there are 4 Hellions. 4 Hellions can kill 2 Stalkers, and they can also kill a lot of probes, so... If Bowman... Uh-oh, wait a second. Oh, no. Oh, no. There's only the Stalkers, and the Stalkers aren't even home yet. This is kind of a disaster. Oh, that was actually about the best this could ever get. Like, 1 Hellion getting force-fielded out, and the rest of the Hellions starting to hit near the shield bat. I don't actually know, but that was the worst that could have possibly gone for Sinner. Somehow, Bowman just... the most fortuitous force field. Just the perfect... But he had all those probes of the natural he could have targeted. He went straight for the ramp. The greed was there. If Sinner had gone for the natural, he probably could have gotten 12, 15 probes. There was no saving them. But instead... I mean, it's not over yet. There could still be damage done. Two Zealots. A Banshee shows up. Unfortunately, the battery's showing its weakness now, as it only protects like 2 of the mineral patches. Is there detection? There is not even a robo. So this is a disaster. Meanwhile, the Hellions will die. Is that a can? No, that's a shield battery. So there's no detection at all. So it comes down to how much energy the Banshee has. Which is... oh my. Oh. Okay. There's another Banshee coming. Yeah, this is bad. This is very bad. There's technically a battery. You can just kill the battery, though. The battery is the prime target. It doesn't take that long to kill it. And then you can just kill the probes. The robo's done. Better late than never. Oh. Okay. Ooh. Just going for the... I mean, why not? The Observer almost done. I think Sinner... Oh, he really shields the other battery. What a play. Oh, maybe a little early on that uncloak. Could have waited like 4 more seconds and not taken any damage, but here we are. So, 49... It wasn't that bad. 20 workers have been killed, but... It wasn't good. It definitely wasn't good, but it wasn't that bad. Those Widow Mines. Thankfully, neither side interested in burrowing. Oh, there you go. Patiently waiting. Spots the Zealots. Oh no. Those Widow Mines get mass damage hits. It's about as good as they could do. I don't know where they... Okay. The force field actually great. He could lower the other depot and let them out, but it's too late already. Oh my god. That force field on the depot confusing everyone involved. The Observer's here. Archon is hallucinated. Unfortunately, a lot of Zealots chewing on the depots. Was the Observer... Is that a... Wait, what? Is that a pylon? What? Okay. Well, that was a pylon, but it's also way too many Marines. And Sinner will rack up another win for Team Alpha X. I don't know how that pylon got there, but it did. At the end of the day, though, Team Alpha X takes home 4. And that was a series. The clown car has continued its journey. I will refresh. Well, first, hopefully you enjoyed week 2 of the North American Apprentice Team League. You can add to the prize pool, so that way they can get a new muffler and also a new car and maybe a therapist. You don't know. We'll see how much support we can get for the team league. Is the NATL commander. Check the description, like and subscribe, and all of that. And to wrap up 2 weeks, Genesis Gaming in first place, 6-4. Psystorm Gaming, 1-0 with a 4-1 record. Wait. Did they not play today? Oh, not everyone plays every week. We have 3 matches every week. Eventually, everyone will play one another over the course of 6 weeks. Or maybe I didn't refresh. I just refreshed, though. Oh. You said it was... Oh, sure. Alpha X in first place with 2-0. 7-3 overall score. Genesis Gaming with 2-0. 6-4. Psystorm 1-0. 4-1. Exxon Cham 1-1, 5-5. The NA Clowns down 0-1, 2-3. Risen from the Gosu 0-1, 2-3. And Exxon Nina. That doesn't seem right. Wait, did we not have RNG Pro last time? I thought there were multiple matches. Eventually these will all be perfectly updated. Or am I a crazy person? Yeah, it's not... Probably should be 2 matches there. Still update. Okay, so that's most of the updates. Wow, we have to wait upwards of 2 seconds. What kind of production are we running here? Nobody has that kind of patience. But yeah, there you go. Exxon Nina and RNG Pro. We're not at the point where anybody's eliminated from the top 4. The final 4 make it to the playoffs. It'll be another couple weeks, I think, before we can figure out if anyone has been shut down entirely. But so far, Team Alpha X and Genesis Gaming out to a strong start, whereas both Exxon divisions, RNG, and the NA Clowns off to a rough start. So, who's your favorite? Both in name, in logo, and in players. And what do you expect to see next week on the North American Apprentice Team League? It could be almost literally anything. You never know. Thank you for watching. Good luck, and have fun.